Today, I'm speaking on behalf of millions of people in Afghanistan, whose fate hangs in the balance and are faced with an extremely uncertain future. I'm speaking for millions of Afghan girls and women who are about to lose their freedom to go to school, to work, and to participate in the political, economic, and social life of the country. I'm speaking for thousands of human rights defenders, journalists, academics, civil servants, and former security personnel whose lives are at risk for defending human rights and democracy. I'm speaking for thousands of internally displaced people who are desperately in need of shelter, food, and protection in Kabul and other places. As you're witnessing yourself, the situation in Kabul, a city of about 6 million people, is extremely worrying, to say the least. You have seen chaotic scenes at the Kabul International Airport as desperate citizens are trying to leave the country. Mr. President, we are extremely concerned about Taliban's not honoring their promises and commitments made in their statements at Doha and at other international fora. We've witnessed time and again how Taliban have broken their promises and commitments in the past. We have seen gruesome images of Taliban's mass executions of military personnel and target killings of civilians in Kandahar and other big cities. Mr. President, we cannot allow this to happen in Kabul, which has been the last refuge for many people escaping violence and Taliban's revenge attacks. Kabul residents are reporting that Taliban have already started house-to-house searches in some neighborhoods, registering names and looking for people in their target list. There are already reports of target killings and looting in the city. Kabul residents are living in absolute fear right now. Mr. President, there is no time for blame game anymore. We have an opportunity to prevent further violence, prevent Afghanistan descending into a civil war and becoming a pariah state. Therefore, the Security Council and the UN Secretary General should use every means at its disposal to call for an immediate cessation of violence and respect for human rights and international humanitarian law. Call on the Taliban to fully respect the general amnesty offered by them, cease target killing and revenge attacks, and abide by international humanitarian laws. Urge that no public institutions and service delivery infrastructure be demolished, including works of arts in museums and media institutions. Stress that anyone violating human rights of Afghan citizens and international humanitarian law will be held accountable.
हालत ख़राब होगा अफ़गानिस्तान से और भी हालत ख़राब होगा क्योंकि तालिब कभी किसी का अच्छा नहीं चाहता ना और तालिब तो मतलब जहाँ भी वो गया है वहाँ मारपीट झगड़ा स्कूल नहीं मतलब कुछ भी नहीं अस्पताल नहीं बम ब्लास्ट ऐसे पहले मतलब वो थे 4 लोग या 5 लोग या 3 लोग होते थे ना किसी शहर में क्या हालत हो जाता था ना अभी जो इन्होंने पूरा देश पे कब्जा कर लिया था अभी देख लो कि पूरा देश का क्या हालत होगा
अभी तालिबान आया है बहुत गड़बड़ है वहाँ हमारा फैमिली सब बहुत डर रहा है सब घर पे घर से बाहर नहीं निकलेगा अगर किसी का फैमिली गवर्नमेंट में होता तो सब उसको मार देगा उसको भी उसको फैमिली को सबको मार देगा अभी लेडीज़ को जाने स्कूल नहीं देगा जेंट्स को नहीं देगा किसी को जाने बाहर नहीं देगा 8 बजे रात में किसी को अगर रात में बाहर देखा घर से बाहर देखा उसको मार देगा उसका लोग बात यही है फिर हमारा फैमिली बहुत डर गई है हमारे को यहाँ टेंशन लिया है हम लोग क्या करें हम इंडिया में हम बिल्कुल आराम है लेकिन हमारा फैमिली वहाँ बहुत गड़बड़ है हमारा उसको बहुत डर लगे
अशरफ गनी ने बहुत गलत किया है हम लोगों के साथ इसको बिल्कुल यही पता था ये तालिबान के साथ यूएस के साथ और हो सकता है पाकिस्तान चाइना इस और कुछ और कंट्री साथ में थे इसको यही प्रोटोकॉल किया है पहले से कि भैया ये जंग यानी मतलब लड़ाई कैसे ख़त्म हो जाएगा ऐसा ख़त्म हो जाएगा कि तालिबान को हवाला करेंगे सारा कंट्रीज़ को ये गनी को पता था आई एम श्योर 100% सिचुएशन ऐसा ही कि ये लोग सब जो अफ़गानिस्तान में है, जो कल से मेरे साथ कांटेक्ट है लोगों के साथ, हमारा फैमिली के मेंबर्स के साथ, सब बहुत परेशान है। सब डर में बैठा है, डर से बाहर नहीं निकलता है, वो नहीं समझता है कि आगे से क्या होता है।
We went to Afghanistan almost 20 years ago with clear goals. Get those who attacked us on September 11, 2001, and make sure al-Qaeda could not use Afghanistan as a base from which to attack us again. We did that. We severely degraded al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. We never gave up the hunt for Osama bin Laden, and we got him. That was a decade ago. Our mission in Afghanistan was never supposed to have been nation building. It was never supposed to be creating a unified, centralized democracy. Our only vital national interest in Afghanistan remains today what it has always been: preventing a terrorist attack on America's homeland. I've argued for many years that our mission should be narrowly focused on counterterrorism, not counterinsurgency or nation building.
talk about an inclusive government for Afghanistan, but don't the Taliban now want to rule on their own? Do you have any indication from the Taliban that they would accept an inclusive government? And if they don't, will Pakistan recognise the Taliban again as the government of Afghanistan?
I think the Taliban have said that they will accept an inclusive government, that they would wish to have a government which represents all groups in Afghanistan. And we would like to take them at their word. We are working towards that end. That's why we have invited the representatives of the Afghan parties, or the non-Pashtun Afghan parties there in Islamabad today. We're talking to them. They are agreeable to engage with the Taliban in order to form an inclusive authority. And we hope that our efforts and the efforts of other friends will be successful.
आदरणीय मित्र, मैंने सुष्मिता देव जी से बात करने का प्रयास किया पर उनका फोन ऑफ था। सुष्मिता देव जी एक कर्मठ, प्रतिभाशाली और काबिल कांग्रेस की कार्यकर्ता और नेता थी और शायद आज भी हैं, क्योंकि उनका कोई पत्र आज तक श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी जी को प्राप्त नहीं हुआ। मैंने भी वो खबर समाचार पत्रों में और टेलीविजन चैनल पर सुबह से देखी है। मैं केवल ये कहूंगा कि सुष्मिता जी हमारी एक प्रतिभाशाली मित्र थी और वो जो भी निर्णय करेंगी अपने विवेक से और सोच समझकर करेंगी। जब तक उनसे पूरी बात ना हो जाए, इससे ज्यादा कहना अनुचित होगा। हां, मैं पार्टी की ओर से भी और स्वयं की ओर से भी उनके उज्जवल भविष्य की कामना करता हूं।
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.